awesome kitchen. What do you love about this apartment? Okay. Oh, my room. Did you like this house?
Yeah.
This made me just bawl my eyes out because it was the first time I really looked at the different chapters in my life, and it kind of was all summed up in my kid's bedroom. And it was just a really special time to look back and reflect on that because we just sold that apartment and now it was empty, and that room had seen so much. And now we were moving on to a new adventure, a new chapter as a family. So when you think about the different chapters in your life, motherhood obviously is such an impactful one. But what do you do when you have a career? How do you balance stepping away from your career, whether it's just a little bit of time, a month or 2 months, 3 months? And I have the perfect guest today to talk through all of that. Our guest today is Neha Ruch. She's the author of The Power Pause, and she is so insightful because she has a degree from Stanford Business School, and she had a whole career in brand strategy before she decided to pause that career and be a stay-at-home mom. It's a fascinating conversation. Check it out. First things first, I just want to talk about this transition you had in your life. Stanford MBA to, I know you don't like the term, but a stay-at-home mom, The Power Pause, your book. How did you go from, being a working mom to then a stay-at-home mom?
I don't think I ever thought about motherhood as being different from work. Like, I just thought they sort of happened together. I was rocking in this rocking chair with Bodhi. He was probably like 4 months old. I'd reached the ends of the internet on my phone. And yet there was something about it that felt so freeing for the first time in a long time. I think I'd worked really hard to climb a ladder. I'd clocked in my decade and I, on paper, had what was my dream job. Except I'd gotten tired of the hustle. And suddenly I had this little person who just wanted me to be me.
Yeah.
And I think the other part was it coincided with sort of a disenchantment with what I was doing at the time, which I think is important to highlight because suddenly I was really interested in, like, how do I get this baby to sleep? How do I feel about the fact that nursing isn't working? I wanted to parse through that. My husband was working a ton at that moment, and yet I started to hear the pushback. And I think the biggest transition for me, the biggest growth piece was, how do I reconcile for myself making the best right choice and tuning out the noise that something about this didn't feel as approved upon or as successful and ambitious in the eyes of everyone I knew.
So I've been the mom in the rocking chair looking at the baby and wishing I didn't have to go back to work. I had to, I made the money in our family, so I had to do that. But how do you know the difference between a wish, a hope, and actually knowing it's the right decision to step away from your career for a bit to focus on family?
I think you sit with it for a period. I don't think if something's working about it, you put out all the options on the table, right? Like go back part-time, go back and negotiate being able to leave at 5 p.m. so that you have more boundaries, where there's an end date and you're considering going back. I think thinking through all the options is a big piece of this, right? Because for so long we've been fed this black and white idea of stay at home and working. And I think the reason I don't resonate with the idea of stay at home is I think it's so much more fluid than that. The data shows that 1 in 3 women are planning a pause in the next 2 years. 1 in 2 are planning a downshift of hours, but the 90% who are at home want to return. And I think for me, the cards just, when I looked at all the options, I had the ability to go part-time, which worked. I had the ability to set up childcare for those 2 days that I really trusted. The pay, the financial equate part of that piece lined up such that actually it was like a no-brainer because the cost of childcare and my time in the workplace, the trade-off seemed clear. And then I think the last part was, did I feel like I could get back? And I felt really confident that I was able to make the most of this chapter and transition back. I think another piece of it was me and my partner, would I feel safe in? And he and I had no less than maybe 6 months of planning and discussion before I fully paused.
Right. It's interesting you mentioned childcare because, we used to have a full-time nanny. We recently moved out of the city. Our circumstances changed. We're in like a co-parenting situation. So it's like, what's the cost here when I'm traveling for work, when I'm not there in the morning?
Yeah.
So I think, we're talking about you and your situation, but I think there's a lot of dads in the situation. Financially, what is better? Like, what is the benefit of kids being able to have access to a parent as opposed to a nanny or a babysitter?
Well, the one thing I do want to call out, because it's such a crucial foundation to this conversation, is that all of the research shows that careers impact your children zero. What children really value is presence. And that is not measured in hours. It's measured in how you show up for your child.
I'm so curious because I'm sure, there are a lot of moms who would love the opportunity to put their career on pause or leave their career completely to be at home with their kids. But then I think back, when I was making baby food for the kids, I'm like, I want to just stay home and make a baby food company, right? Because I like this. Okay, now I'm out of the baby food phase, and it's like, oh man, I'm glad I didn't do that because now I don't even want to think about making baby food. So let's say now your kids are 18, they're about to leave the house and you've committed your whole life to just doing everything for the kids. Yeah. Now what?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Well, I think in your case, let's play that out, right? If it was between a role you weren't loving the way you did or an employer who wasn't good to you. I mean, in the case of NBC, they were wonderful to you, right? And in the case of your work, you were deeply passionate about it. In the case of your financial capacity, it felt compensatory for the efforts you were making, and the decision you and your ex made was that he would be able to provide childcare and or a mix with a nanny to be able to create a trusting environment for your children to raise. So you made that equation work, and it worked really nicely. And I think if it's not broken, why break it? Right? Like I say this all the time to people who are like, I actually love what I do. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Love what you do.
And this
like,
wouldn't be
this
the
wouldn't
decision
how
you'd make.
wonderful would it be for children to see a parent who loves what they do, whether that's parenting them or whether it's going to the office for a period of time, doing something they're passionate about and bringing that passion back to their children. I think one of the great myths that has haunted career pauses is that it's somehow a life pause. And what I mean by that is if you are shifting your time, energy, and focus away from your paid work for a chapter, there's a world that you can say, actually, in doing that for a different set of priorities, whether that be childcare, elder care, mental health, physical health, I'm going to strategically make room for myself to also grow my network, grow my interests and skills, and come back with a clearer sense of self than ever before. Because I think what very quickly happens is you, Dylan Dreyer, in an alternate universe, pause work, you're suddenly at home, you've had a lot of outward metrics of success for a long time. And there's been someone saying, if you do this, you get this.
Right.
Now you're at home and you're thinking, well, I guess like my success is my kids' behavior. And now they're wrestling outside. And you're thinking like, oh my God, am I a failure?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how I felt with like a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old pushing each other, thinking like, I raised sociopaths and it's over. And it took that moment for me to say, and now I tell women, this time also is yours. So how do you take back that sense of power over this time and make sure it doesn't feel like it's happening to you? It sounds contrived, but it's goals. It's goals of your own. There's a number of different ways to do it. I always talk about it as the 5-year vision exercise. You write in an ideal, detailed way what your perfect version of a Monday looks like with your kids. It's going to reveal to you, oh, I really want to work on nutrition. I'm really interested in nutrition professionally, and maybe I'm going to dig it, like follow that curiosity for a bit. I've always wanted to have a silly household. I'm going to have a dance party every single Monday. The reason those little metrics of success are important is because they are going to now help you feel like you're moving yourself forward.
It's incredible because, you hear it from the outside and it's like, yes, I'm going to take this pause for my career. I'm going to focus on my kids. And then you think, and then I'll get back into my career. But you're kind of saying if you're in a position where you feel like you can leave your career because you've maxed it out or you've gotten everything you can out of it and you're ready for this next chapter. Help yourself grow into the next thing.
And sometimes that means there are some people who loved what they did and actually do want to return to that industry in some capacity. And so the advice for that is, well, how do you keep your finger on the pulse, right? And maybe your professional goal is I'm going to network within the industry outside of the walls of my previous employer, and I'm going to have a coffee every month with someone different. That's my thing. Or I don't have the childcare to be able to do that. So I'm going to go on LinkedIn 20 minutes a week and just gently nudge old contacts and see what they're up to. And so that they know I'm still part of this, or I'm going to post once a week on LinkedIn so people know that I'm still keeping myself engaged in learning. There are other people who might say, this is actually my time to test and learn. The number of women who just want to be able to test like an interest in event marketing for 10 hours a week or 5 hours a week. Well, that can look like volunteering in your school, but like while your kids are young, right? Okay. And I had a woman say, I'm doing what's called strategic volunteering. I'm going into the school every year and testing out event marketing. Then I'm doing comms for 1 year. Then I'm just going to be the like family education forum and bring in different speakers, because those little pieces start to leave clues for what I might want next. I interviewed this woman in North Carolina who said, I was trying to piece together what I wanted next. And I wanted to see which bullet stood out to me the most, like which one really made me feel proud. And it was this moment where she had reorganized her son's bus route. He just wasn't getting picked up efficiently like every other child in Manhattan, or in her case, North Carolina. And she realized, like, I really loved implementing a new system. I loved calling around and seeing this project forward. Wow, maybe I'm really interested in project management. And the reason that's interesting is because then she started gearing her return around that. And she put on her resume, career sabbatical for family life. And under the first bullet was implemented highly technical infrastructure change to local organization. Because that seemingly ordinary thing that was just like a random bullet, the things that we do in the ordinary moments of motherhood where we are constantly problem solving, actually has a lot of weight and dignity if we can take the time to connect the dots.
Wow. And this gives, I would imagine, so much more purpose to quote unquote just being a stay-at-home mom. I mean, you are actually working on yourself. You're not making a rash decision to quit your career, stay at home because you want to be with the kids. It sounds like you really have to put in the effort and do the work to get where you want to go in the future.
It takes a little bit of strategy. I mean, the reality of today is we're just looking at a very different woman who has come into motherhood older and has much more education and work experience than a 1970s counterpart. She has a more equitable relationship with her partner. So she's not serving him cocktails at the end of the day. And she has access to digital tools and technology. So she's able to stay connected and creative in such a different way. And yes, so much of the upfront is reminding women that we actually have to update the narrative, and they are not sort of stepping into this June Cleaver archetype.
I mean, parenting day to day and planning and the mental load of just thinking through everything you have to think through. If you don't give yourself time, I feel like you would almost regret the decision to stay at home in the first place.
First of all, I think two things happen. One, you would get very consumed with the outward expectations of what your time at home was to be. Right. So I mean, I think so many women we interviewed stepped into quote unquote stay at home motherhood and thought, well, if I'm a stay at home mom, I have to be a supermom. And they take that sort of, they go on their Instagram and they see the scroll of, well, someone has a beautiful home and someone's home cooking meals and someone else is doing art projects. And they don't realize that everyone's like doing that one thing, but then they're letting go of something else behind the scenes. The second piece that often happens is that women will fall into the trap of, well, if I don't do paid work, I don't deserve support. But no one can work 24/7 without breaks. And as soon as you have that time, it lets you be able to enjoy the decision more, and it allows you to fear less the possibilities on the other side. And that was really the thesis of the work, is I wanted women to have another never was it to say the pauses were the right choice. It was always to say, if you do pause or downshift and you take your foot off the gas, you can still be ambitious with your time and you can still grow to preserve more opportunity on the other side.
Mm-hmm. I know you surveyed a lot of women, asking them, who do you look up to? Who is your role model as someone who stays at home?
Well, sadly, actually, we polled the American public, 1,200 at-home parents and 1,000 members of the general population. And when we asked, who do you think of when you think of a stay-at-home mom? Not who do you look up to, but who do you think of?
Mm-hmm.
We heard Michelle Obama, Sheryl Sandberg, and Beyoncé for the working mom, and June Cleaver.
Really?
And Lucy Ricardo for the at-home parent. And it's because we as a culture had not updated the perceptions, right? And that is a power chasm that is so wide and so far from the reality of the modern women we're talking about, right? And I think that archetype has haunted women. So, I think that really the hope for this work is to just put so many more examples on the table, not any one archetype, but just to say it is fluid, it is evolving, and we're actually all more alike than we're different.
So what is your advice to women who maybe they're the sole income in the house, or there is no way, despite how much they don't like their job, there is no way they could take a pause to stay with their children?
Well, I think the first part is what we talked about before in Stuart Friedman's research, is to comfort yourself in knowing there is no one right way. There really isn't. And the research pans out that your children are going to be just A-okay as long as they know they are loved and safe by you, with you. The second piece of it is to decide what you're optimizing for, right? Because flexibility means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. The other piece that I'm really passionate about right now, and I think is interesting, is we talk about a lot about flexibility in the workforce. And I don't think managers are jerks. Like, I really do think a lot of managers in a lot of corporations want to make it work, but just don't know how. And so I spoke to a woman at JP Morgan, and finance is historically one of the hardest industries to attain flexibility. She called a friend who had negotiated a 2-day-a-week work week. And she borrowed that woman's template and put it in front of her manager as to this is how it's going to work.
Yeah. From an at-home perspective, when your kids see you and you're home all the time and you're there for them for everything they need, right? I mean, this is why you took a pause to be there for them. How do you still make sure that they see that you have this identity, you have these other passions, you're not there just for them, but they look up to you in that role for being able to be who you are too?
A few things, because I get this question a lot. One, they will not always remember year over year. They will remember at the end, like some smudgy version of what you presented. My kids do not know I have to remind them all the time I was at home with them. Like, I literally tell them all the time just so that they don't forget.
Right.
But during those years, I think it was really important to talk about my interests a lot. Sometimes it's hobbies, right? Like, I'm getting good at Mahjong right now. I wanted them to know. I talk about I want at Mahjong, and I want them to know those interests. But the irony is, I think kids notice when you're lit up. That's what they want to see. And so, ironically, I was on full book tour sprint. The thing they were most interested in was that I was volunteering at the school. The reason I brought up that in the end it's going to be some smudgy version is because what I always say is my end goal with this book is that one day my kids grow up and someone's going to ask my daughter, did you have a stay-at-home or working mom? And she will have no idea what that meant. She'll just know I was there. I worked on a lot of different things I cared about, and I loved her very much.
Yeah. It's beautiful. So now that we got through a lot of the serious stuff, let's get into the fun part of parenting. Are there any confessions you have being a mom, trying to do it all?
I think I didn't do it all. So I was the only stay-at-home parent who hated the playground. Really. Like, when you were talking about being on the playground for 2 hours, there's so many reasons. There were so many children.
Yes.
I have 2 very attached children. And I'd be like, there were all these mothers who sat on the bench and I was in the sandbox.
Yes.
And then I became the default parent for all these other humans. and it just was too much. So I started outsourcing playground time to I think a lot about investing in childcare when you don't have paid work, because I think it helped me.
Mhm.
And I, at one point, had, like I do now, I have a babysitter 3 to 4 afternoons a week, and she's on playground duty. I meet them after, and they get a more
Yeah.
refreshed version, because it was such a trigger for me. I'm
I'm-
also an only child, so then people would take their trucks when they were
Oh,
little,
I
and I'd be
can't
like,
stand
"You
that.
can't take the
Yes.
truck," and I
I
realized
know.
I was a terrible model for
Yes.
sharing.
This makes me feel so seen because I didn't know what I was doing wrong at the playground. I'm looking at all the other moms and they're chit-chatting and they're happy, and I'm like tapping my foot because my mind's like, I really need to just go home and I need to cook dinner and I want to do this. And I'm sitting here for hours when there is just something else I could be doing. And two of my kids are more attached. The other one would go out and play
Oh.
sports, and that's fine. If you want to go play, good. I will just sit here and just chill for a second. But it was the Sandbox, and a New York City Sandbox is not
It's
my favorite
disgusting.
place.
It's
And then
vile.
they're taking the boys' toys and they're burying the toys in the sand. And I'm trying to like pinpoint where each toy is, because I know I have to dig up each of these toys, or else there's going to be tears because we lost the toys and
Yeah.
they don't even like these kids at the playground. So
It's also hard I think of myself as immune to the comparison trap, because I know enough. But when you're watching other children, like I would have been watching your older son being like, what did I do wrong as a parent?
Mm.
And so it brings up so much.
Yes, it
Like,
does.
not only are you annoyed about the truck, but then you're like rethinking all of your parenting choices
Yes.
and spiraling at night, being like, Googling, how do I get my child to not be on my lap at the playground?
I also don't love playing. I know that sounds weird, but Rusty, my little guy, will come over. He's like, can you kick the ball with me? And it's like, I really don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
No offense. I'm just kind of tired. Like, I want to I'll sit and watch you, or I'll like play goalie while I sit, but I don't feel like getting up, and I'm just not
You're the
that
best
kind
goalie
of,
to play with ever. You're sitting.
I'm just going to sit there.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
imaginative play. It's just not where my brain goes. I'll cook you dinner and we can bake cookies together and I will love every moment of it, but I just don't feel like playing soccer with you.
But I think that's like the fact that you bake.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but I do really love art. Like that was my thing. And I felt like if I could do art with you, great. That fills me up. I enjoy that. That's the best version. And then we'll go to a coffee shop. Like that, I structured a lot of my day to our earlier conversation about like allowing this to be your time too. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. It's fulfilling for everybody. So what would you say is a recent parenting win for you?
You know, my son asked me what sex was and death was, and those sort of big questions. And I felt like I answered them well. So, I mean, if you'd like, I can tell you what I said, but
I'm curious. What did you say?
Well, I started with, you know, when two people decide to have a family, they need a seed and an egg, and the seed and egg come together to create a baby. And he was like, well, but how does the seed get to the egg? And I was like, well, it depends on, some people do it in a doctor's office and some people do it through something like sex. And well, not like, it was definitely sex. And the seed comes out of the man's penis, and the egg is inside the woman, and the penis goes inside the vagina. And that's it.
These are the facts.
And he was like, you let daddy do that to you 2 times. And I was like, correct. Just 2 times.
You don't have to answer it.
That's
you don't have to answer everything.
That's all I have capacity for. I think death was more interesting. I said, you know how flowers die or batteries die? They run out of energy. And at some point, bodies run out of energy. We need a lot of different parts to make it work. And the questions that came up, you know, he said, like, because my husband's grandfather had passed at 100 years old.
Wow.
He said, do you think he's scared in the grave of the lights being out all the time? I was like, that's creepy. And no, because his batteries run out. Those parts aren't working.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I handled those well.
Yeah. Calvin did ask me, you know, if your body is buried, what's in heaven? Like, do you have arms and legs and a body in heaven? And it was just one of those, you know, these questions sort of come out of nowhere sometimes. So I started talking about, it's like your soul, you know, it's like when you're dreaming, you know, your body's there, but physically there's nothing there. It's a dream in your head. And in heaven, we believe your soul goes to heaven. So you have the perception of your body and recognizing other people's body, but there's really nothing tangible there.
But isn't that amazing? Like you got to rethink your relationship to religion just then,
It's
right?
true. Yeah.
Like you probably didn't go through your day to day here thinking about that. And so much of parenthood is just coming a long way alongside your kids, right? And I think that like if I were to reflect back on what has sort of like given me the most energy during parenting, it's that. It's not the playing.
Right.
So I forgive the Sandbox because I'm like, oh, but I'm doing
Right.
all this great deep work on not being a jerk during your play dates. You know?
There's a lot you're proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been so lovely to talk with you. Thank you so
Likewise.
much.
Thank you.
Wow, I personally thought this was such a great conversation with Neha. I mean, I went into it thinking, you know what? I love my career. I love what I do. I would never take a full-on pause from my career to, be with the kids full time because I love my job so much. And the best thing about that is, well, I don't have to. That's not what works for me. But if you've maxed out your career and you want to stay home with your kids, if you can stay home with your kids and you think that's the best thing for you, then do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear your comments on today's episode. DM us at Today Parents. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow us, do all the things you're supposed to do to make sure we keep popping up in your feed. I would just like to hear your opinions on the matter. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.